Now, I've never been someone who thought that maximum free trade was the correct approach. Democrats, starting with Bill Clinton, embraced free trade, I think, to move to the political center, because at that time, free trade was a central tenet of the Republican Party. In order to move to the political center, I think Clinton made the calculation that he could win over these libertarian-leaning Republicans by adopting a number of Republican libertarian talking points. So we signed free trade agreements with Mexico and Canada, and then later Obama did the same thing with Asia. So I sympathize to some extent with the idea that you shouldn't always have absolute free trade in every area. But there are a lot of problems with putting broad tariffs that apply universally. For example, what is the point of putting tariffs on coffee or bananas, which we cannot grow in the United States? The other problem is these tariffs are so extreme that businesses are going to assume that the tariff policy may be reversed in the relatively near future. At some point, one way or another, Trump is no longer going to be president, and someone else is going to set international trade policy. Even if you could build a factory here, let's say it takes 5 years, wages of U.S. workers are so high that the cost of the goods would be extremely high, far more than the increase in the price due to the tariffs. So how much production really is going to come to the United States? Another problem is putting very high tariffs on steel and aluminum, where the total size of those industries is about 1/5 or smaller than the number of industries that actually utilize those inputs. That is to say, even if you increase steel and aluminum mining and production in the United States, you're still going to have losses in jobs from factories that use those. Company profits are going to plummet because of these high taxes. Many people are going to lose their jobs, so consumer spending is going to drop. So there isn't going to be very much excess capital to use to build these so-called factories that Trump wants people to build inside the U.S. And because of the long time period, let's say you spend 4 years building a factory and then the tariffs go away, you've just wasted all your money. It's the very uncertainty that's going to prevent this policy from working. This policy is not going to work unless Trump changes it quite radically in the coming months. And even then, the trust has been destroyed between us and our trading partners. They're going to look to each other to trade. Imagine if we had 50% tariffs between every state in the U.S. What would that do to the United States?